Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Oh my gosh. Look who's in the house. Candace is in the house. How are you, Candace?
I'm doing fine. It's, Wednesday night, my favorite night of the week when we all get to reach out to everyone in the community. So doing good, even with a insanely busy news day today.
Totally insanely busy news day. We have so much to talk about. I wanted to welcome all of our viewers that are watching live. And
this is your typical Olympics and medal standings. Canada always goes out first, being in the lead, and then we drop back.
Oh, geez. Well, thank you for starting the ball rolling on that. Just wanted to point out that it's hard to believe we're halfway through July. I'm waiting for the warm weather to turn up. When is the really hot, warm weather coming exactly?
This week coming up.
Good.
The systems are changing, and we're going to start getting a nice, hot, humid air mass that's going to sit here probably from about the middle of next week, pushing all the way to August, if not deep into August. So you will get your hot weather. Don't worry.
Listen, I got out on my kayak on Sunday, and it was so nice. I enjoyed it a lot, and but I like it to be nice and warm when I'm doing that. So there you go. It's not as much fun in the cold. So
I'm afraid of kayaks personally.
You like them?
No, I'm afraid of them.
Oh.
I've seen, when I was a kid, I went to the canoe club and they showed us the kayaks. And the first thing they said, we're going to give you lessons. We're going to teach you how to capsize. And I'm like, yeah, no. See, I like a sailboat. With a sailboat, if you capsize, as the boat flips over, you climb up on the keel and you just ride it completely around. And you don't have to get too wet.
That's the same shit as saying, hey, we're going on your first parachute lesson, throw you out without a parachute. It's like, what the fuck? It's like you pull the cord and out comes the pots, the pans.
Family show.
Well,
he meant holy banana bread.
Shove the family out first and see how they do.
That would be me. You're going to shove me out first? You're going to shove me out first.
How about that inflation rate?
And nice.
I think this is going. I may be doing this show by myself tonight.
Yes, exactly. Oh, we've got greetings from Montreal.
Montreal.
Bonjour.
Comment ça va?
I think
that's the extent of what I know.
Isn't it bonsoir at night? I think it changes to a new word at bonsoir.
Do you know what? I'm doing my best.
Yeah. Well, and Marie Claude said there's many types of kayaks these days. Hers cannot capsize. I don't capsize mine either.
Well, that's cool.
Marie Claude, they can't capsize when they're on land, and that's exactly where they should stay.
Oh, not as much fun there. Anyway, so let's jump in. There is so many things we want to talk about. Yes, Candace, you're right. There was big news today. I wrote down a few things, and then we can just pick one and jump in from there.
Well, there's a little connection that I heard. I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to throw this out there.
Okay.
So the first thing that happened this morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time was the CPI data in the U.S. dropped. Inflation was much worse than they had expected, like 9.1%.
Yeah.
Now, here's the rumor that I heard. Everybody thought the Bank of Canada was going to raise our rate by 75 basis points. Everybody thought this. And then out of the blue, it's like, nope, we're going up a full 1. So 100 basis points. The rumor that's starting to circulate in some of the financial circles I'm in is that they decided to go that extra 25 based on the American CPI as kind of a omen for what's coming our way with our CPI.
Probably.
So interesting.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean,
probably.
So I guess we're not at the end of our second quarter yet, are we?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're into the third quarter.
Are we officially
we don't have the numbers yet. Well, the thing is, Canada won't be officially in a recession because our first quarter was positive. We don't know what the second quarter was, but most economists believe that it's close to zero on the positive side. So technically, I think the Royal Bank said that they think it's 2023 that we'll be in a recession. But I think the U.S. is officially in a recession right now.
That means the high interest rates are here till we actually go into a recession, and then the recession is the only thing that
the high interest rates are just going to keep going up and up until we get inflation down to 2.5%. And even then, they're thinking the 2.5% inflation, we're not going to even see that until 2023.
Oh, joy.
So it's going to be, the whole idea of raising these rates is they want to lower demand. So by lowering demand, what they're doing is they're basically making it almost impossible for people to spend money because the interest rates will be so high on everything that involves borrowing money, whether it be mortgages, credit cards. So people are just not going to be spending money. So they want to start driving things down. When you drive things down, what that's going to do, and you probably heard today in the news this whole thing about the whole job situation. If the jobs keep on, if the pays keep going up, it's going to cause inflation to also continue to go up. So they want us to try to knock down all these open jobs as well. So when you reduce the demand, a lot of these businesses who've hired a lot of extra people to meet the demands are going to have to start laying people off. And that's where you're going to get some of the job cuts to try to bring everything back under control.
Yeah, no, it's one of the ways, one of the mechanisms they're using clearly to try to get this under control. Like I got some data myself that adds into this whole conversation. So food at home, this is US numbers, but it's pretty bang on to Canada. Food at home over the past 12 months, the inflation it's at 12.2%. That's for food we're making at home. And then Tim gave me an article done by CP24, and it was a food inflation article. And he said one of the takeaways that I got from this was the further away that if you're living up in Sault Ste. Marie, or you're living up in Thunder Bay, or you're farther away from the main local hubs, your food prices are going to be even higher because of the cost of fuel to transport that. So all of those people that left the city to be able to go out and through the pandemic to go and have this new lovely lifestyle way away from the city, not only is their commute cost gone up, but the cost of everything has now gone up, and their cost of borrowing has gone up. There's going to be a lot of people in worlds of hurt, because I'm telling you right now, the rumblings are on the table big time in a lot of the companies that I deal with, that they want their workers back in the office.
Rogers has actually split their stock and gone into commodities of carrier pigeons now.
I didn't hear that.
They're gonna try it, maybe a wing and a prayer. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. You're on mute, buddy.
Damn it! I had a perfect follow-up for that joke.
Welcome to the conversation, Ryan. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm sad that I'm not sitting there beside you tonight.
Why? What's wrong with where you are?
I would have been there tonight, but I canceled my trip to Calgary.
Oh, that sucks, because you're missing out on incredible weather out here.
I know. Incredible weather, Cowboys, Cowboys.
Oh, it was pretty crazy.
Cowboys.
This one is, I drove by today when I was just driving around. Of all things, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised, Binance was absolutely sponsoring the you-know-what at one of the biggest breakfasts I've seen downtown. Just really? Binance all over the place. Binance and cowboy hats, guys with cowboy hats who've never heard of Bitcoin before. It just seemed like the funniest thing. But
no, that would be funny. Eric Mittens made a comment about another few hundred basis points, and we might be worthwhile to keep your money in the bank again.
What was it you were saying, that the euro reached parity with the US dollar?
Oh my God, that is a bad thing. The euro reached parity with the US dollar. That means the US dollar is growing stronger, and that means the European economy is in the big tank-a-rooney.
Is that because of what's happened with the changeover in government in Britain and with the Russian-Ukraine war?
Britain's standalone outside of the euro, right?
They left.
No, but I'm saying, but I just look for big contributing factors, and I'm just wondering.
I think it's this. I think this is just my 2 cents. Everyone go around the board. My 2 cents is just like, sometimes the simplest answer is the right answer. And to me, it's energy crisis. Like when you have Germany shutting the lights down, shutting the air conditioning, the heat down in the middle of the night because they can't afford it. When you've got Canada now sending Russia its supplies to build up oil infrastructure. It's hilarious, right? You can kind of see that we've already lost this war. Like we've totally lost this war. We're now feeding Russian infrastructure against Ukraine. It's hilarious. But I really just bat it all down to maybe our unwillingness to accept how dependent the world truly was on Russian oil, energy, wheat, potassium, and fertilizer. Like, simple as that. I don't think we realized how important they were. And when Russia decides to flip a switch in the middle of the night and Germany can't cook anymore at night, I mean, come on, right? So I think it all comes down to energy, but that's just me.
Yeah, and I mean, Russia also picked now to do a 10-day maintenance on their major gas line into Germany. So Germany's got no gas for 10 days, and Germany's afraid that Russia's just not going to turn it back on.
Why would they? I wouldn't. If I was Vladimir Putin and everyone was attacking me nonstop, why turn it back on? If anything, pay me triple while your citizens suffer. Because, like, you got to think, put yourself on the other side, like in his shoes, right? Why would he ever turn it back on? I mean, what concessions is he getting outside of the fact that the sanctions mean nothing anymore because we're sending them all the supplies anyway, just to feed Germany, which was predicted, mind you, but whatever. But the energy crisis is a little bit, honestly, Germany set themselves up for this by being so dependent on Russia. And this has been obvious for like at least 10 years and was highlighted a few years ago too. But I don't know what they're thinking. Like, how can Germany logically not be worried and sanction the one place, for instance, totally kibosh the one place that gives them everything they need to turn the lights on in the morning? I don't know what they thought was going to happen. I almost wonder if they thought that the war would have been over sooner and the sanctions would have had no real impact.
Ryan, I think that there are a lot of examples and a lot of things like that in the world where we take things for granted and we don't ever expect to have a rug, no pun intended, a rug pull in that respect. Look what the hell happened to 11 million Roger users on Friday. Never expecting it, right? Germany, never expecting that this would ever come to this, right? Where's your plan B, guys? Your government, like, where's your plan B?
There's about to be my next video. I've already given the highlights out. Everyone's already got the thumbnails, so I'm saving it because it took way more research. But I did so in looking at the Environmental Administration in the United States and then in StatsCan. Gasoline is so irrelevant in the grand scheme of the issue that I uncovered. And nobody, well, I would say this, actually, make sure you get the details on the video that's going to be released on it, because I'm just going to highlight it. Diesel right now, the diesel supply is going to kill North America. Okay, we are significantly below our 5-year average by about 23%. Not only that, we're typically having between a 35 and 40-day supply of distillate. We're now down to 26 days, and it's getting worse. And we don't have the refineries to make it ourselves because we shut them all down because of COVID. So we need Russia now more than ever to supply us with distillate. Well, that's why Joe Biden went to Saudi Arabia to say, can you guys give us more? But they can't. They only have so many refineries. It's not like they can just pump and pump and pump. So now we need Russia more than ever. So if Russia was smart, they would shut down our distillate supply, make it impossible for us to actually buy food on our end of things. They've so got the upper hand here. It's not even funny. And when we talk about coming into a winter season with no COVID policy, whatever, right? On that side of the planet, having a 26-day supply or whatever it is, you'll see in the video, pretty shocking. That's not a heck of a lot of time. And then you add on to that the recent rail strikes. And then here's a statistic for everyone. For every rail car of distillate that is not delivered, you're going to get a lot of these goodies in the video, guys, so make sure you get that video. For every rail car of distillate not delivered, that's 5 million miles. 5 million miles. Now, I don't know what that is in kilometers. I was reading an American stat, but that's roughly 5 million miles for every rail car of distillate. And you got to think, so what's happened in Canada? We have shutdowns and strikes every 15 minutes here. Every 15 minutes. CNR's got another stick up there, you know what, right? So it's think about 5 million miles a street per car. And then you think about our stocks being at 26 days. The Saudis don't want to give us anything. And Russia has us by the you know what? It's not a good place that North America's in at all.
No, that's why people sit over here in North America and they think, oh, poor Europe, not here. It's not going to happen here.
Wait.
They don't have any clue. Like,
What are we
On
going to
the
say?
bright side, the CNR strike wasn't very long.
Yeah, they rectified.
Binding arbitration. And then the VIA strike didn't happen. It almost happened. They served notice, but they hit a settlement before.
So I'm going to lob something out before we get into the food conversation, because the food conversation lends itself into what Ryan was just saying about the fuel cost and all that sort of jazz. But
Hang
I
on,
think
hang
I
on.
read something.
Distillate. Marie-Claude wants to know what distillate is. And Ryan, that is? You're on mute, buddy. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
It's a incorrect spelling, but if distillate or diesel, it's pretty much the same thing. So when I say that word, that's the word they're using for their stock inventories. I'm talking like diesel, basically just diesel at the end of the day.
Oh,
Yeah, petroleum distillate is like that.
Jordan has put, it's this, Marie-Claude. That's what it is there. Petroleum distillate.
Without that, no gas.
It doesn't make diesel fuel.
Yeah, like so.
We need diesel, and diesel is what the big trucks use to cart our goods to and from places. So, I mean, we can skip the food talk for a second. I want to go back to the rate hike for a second and the fallout from that, because honestly, I think, was it you that sent me the article about that there's how many people are walking away from deals that they made? Like if you bought something maybe in end of March, beginning of April, and maybe you had a 60-day close, people are now walking away from deals in droves, a lot of them, not just a little amount. People are walking away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To happen.
There's going to be a lot of people who are going to get wrecked with mortgages who didn't think ahead.
No, you know what it is every freaking generation has a group of people that think housing prices never go down. They just always go up. It doesn't matter when I buy my house, it'll always go up. How many times did we hear that on my channel, on your channel? Oh no, housing prices don't go down. And it's like everything that goes up comes down, period. That's a rule. Let's just get over that. And when the bank says, housing prices could correct 5%, that's overall, okay? Because you're in some of your inflated areas, for instance, maybe a higher end area, you're going to correct more like 15 to 20%. So housing prices don't always go up. Sometimes they go down. I hope that's a lesson for everybody, because
well, it's interesting because where we were up in Kitchener, of course, everyone knows the story there, but we paid a visit there, and they had to drop $300,000, and still nothing.
Just only one person has come through.
So,
like, I think the market is just like, it is cooled off. Like, it's like somebody did what was that ice bucket challenge? It's like the housing market. They've dumped the ice bucket on top of the housing market.
I think it's a psychological price point too, that people are just over $1 million. It's just like, forget it. It's way out of sight now, right? I don't know.
I don't know. It's I don't know. We're in weird times. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was even other weird stuff. Like, I'm afraid to lob this out. Oh, hey, Ken, you got a mohawk.
No.
Oh, the way you were standing.
It's just his widow's peak.
The little David Blaine magician going on there, magic.
Or you sort of look like the vulture from Spider-Man.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, welcome to the stream. I was going to lob this out, and I know it's a bit of a hot topic, but I don't know. Oh, there's my friend Natasha. Hi, Natasha. Anyways, what I was going to lob out, and I'm scared to lob it out because I know how passionate we get about this.
For God's sake, would you just stop with the intro and lob it out?
Elon Musk backing out of Twitter. Did we see that one coming?
Everyone who thinks that he's actually going to get sued is beyond out to lunch right now. So there's a couple of outcomes. No, you want to know why? Straight up, because this forces Twitter. Yeah, this forces Twitter to prove what they've been saying to Elon Musk. They prove it in a court of law. So that could be dangerous to Twitter, right? It forces it. That's a really great renegotiation tactic. At the same time, does anybody remember Tyson Foods?
Yes.
Okay. Tyson Foods was bought out a few years ago. I got a video about this. That's coming out. The only legal precedent that is out there, period, is Tyson Foods. And the offer to buy Tyson Foods went through. Months later, stocks collapsed. It went to court, for instance, and the judge, it did go to court, and the judge said, too bad, you don't have the ability to say buyer's remorse here. You're paying the price that you offered. So despite all of that, the only legal precedent is against Elon Musk and with Twitter in the Tyson food case. I got a video about that, guys. Go check out my channel. So much changing, even right down to the Facebook group, we can talk about later. But that's just another one. Elon Musk, though, to me, I don't even think this is a Tyson food type situation. Like, this to me is, if you're insistent on 5% spam bots, prove it. Prove it in a court of law then. Prove it in a court of law. I will happily buy it. But that's what I think it is. And I don't think Twitter is going to be able to prove that it's 5%. Like, no way.
So I'm a little unclear your argument. You think that Elon Musk will get away with this?
No, I just think it's a negotiating tactic. Like,
Yeah, I agree with Brian. I think Elon's trying to get a better price.
Yeah. Because Twitter's not going to go to court to prove something that is not provable. They have more than 5%. They do. I know, like, everyone knows that their bots are out of control. They have more than 5%. Elon Musk made this really great point. The reason he's so concerned about it is because, let's say they identify that there's 25% bots, right? So then you remove the 25%, it means that you're actually getting more value per real person. And it actually means that you can charge advertisers more. So the bots situation is actually a real issue, not just for Elon, but for Twitter and their marketing and their ad revenue. So figuring out the real number of bots is what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Well, it's fraud, isn't it?
Well, okay, so
if it's bots and they're getting all the advertising, is that not a form of fraud?
Do you think if Elon Musk, his Tesla stock hadn't have gone down, do you think he would have been going down this road, or like, do you think that was his plan all along, or do you think his stock drops so he needs to find some savings somewhere?
I don't think that he bought Twitter or made the offer to buy Twitter with any consideration of how it was related to Tesla. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, because to me, Elon's one of these people that he will jump into things without thinking. And then once he gets there, he then does the thinking and he comes up with an insane plan that usually works. But he's more of an on the fly. He just jumps into something and then he figures out how to get out of it or how to make it work. And it usually does.
Yeah. Are you still doing on Sundays, Candace, your Elon Musk update?
Yeah, because he keeps on doing stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm still waiting for the first week where there's no Elon news.
Yeah. Well, and Ken just did something where he showed us his little cherry. Are those cherry tomatoes or are those real tomatoes?
Those are cherry tomatoes, ma'am. I am officially a farmer now.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe I can get a rebate from the government since they took 1/3 of my paycheck last week.
Oh,
1/3.
Yeah. Oh, I'm pissed.
Why did they take 1/3?
Overtime, all of his overtime.
All my overtime.
Taxes.
That's right. You hit the next bracket, my friend.
My gross was around 3,200, and I took home 21.
Well, you know what? Stack up your RRSP, and then you can use some of that to recoup those taxes at tax time.
Ken, you know what'll lower your tax rate too is putting a place of worship on your property.
Maybe Nate can help me with that.
Yeah, maybe he can come and do. I think if you get a cow too, a cow might help with your farming status. One cow.
No, you could have an official holy outhouse or something.
No, Natasha wants a goat.
A goat, a cow. You need some kind of livestock in order to be an official farm, I think. Anyways, so it's good you're growing tomatoes because that leads into the next conversation. So the fallout from the Ukraine war and the wheat situation is going to be, we're going to be out of the strangest things, and people are going to scratch their head and they're going to go, why the heck are we out of tomatoes? Why can we not find canned tomatoes anywhere? And you want to know what the answer is? Oh, I thought maybe somebody'd say, what's the answer? Okay.
I was going to say, to me, wouldn't the fertilizer issue just impact absolutely everything? Like from tomatoes to carrots to wheat and barley, like wouldn't the fertilizer be the biggest issue? outside of oil?
Well, what they're saying is they are saying that traditional growers that would normally grow tomatoes and things like that are actually plowing those fields down to grow wheat because they can feed more people. Wheat will be more sought after than tomato products.
So are we just absolutely replacing our dependence on Russian wheat then? So just going, I wonder what this is, because it's probably been my biggest horror story was investing in this sector. What do you think about, in times like this, the selfishness of growing pot versus food?
That would be really bad because doesn't that give you the munchies?
No, but I mean, honestly, though, like the amount of land and space that's occupied by legal grow houses right now versus what could be utilized.
Convert the fields, you mean?
Yeah, I think it's a short-term problem because once we've all felt the pinch of food supply being so, I think this is my personal opinion, not necessarily my professional opinion. I'm going to wait and see what happens over the next few weeks. But my personal opinion is we're going to see food shortages. And once we do, then it's going to force everybody to start thinking outside the box with these vertical farms. We have the technology to do it, but we need to ramp some of this stuff up. And I feel like we aren't proactive on a lot of levels. We are a very reactive situation. We wait till the house is on fire before we go and find a new dwelling. Like, oh, geez, our house is going to burn down any second. I guess we could go find a new dwelling. Instead of going, oh, the forest fire is coming. We should go out and find a new place to live. No, we wait until we're completely in trouble, and then we go and find something new. So that's my personal opinion.
No, I'd agree. That tends to be the way the politicians and the way just the whole government system works here.
Well, not to mention, Canada has done almost the exact same thing as the EU with respect to this nitrogen reduction, right? So the reason why there's all these Dutch protesters is in the European Union, you won't, if you're watching CBC, you're not going to actually get the news. But if you've been watching anything else, you get the Dutch protest stuff. So that's all in place because of the 30% cap or whatever it is, or reduction, I forget which one, related to nitrogen emissions in the European Union, right? So essentially limiting the ability to farm. And it just seemed to me odd timing given we're going through a food crisis, but to limit farmers' ability to farm. But at the same time, Canada has implemented almost identical emissions targets for nitrogen as well. So how does that impact our farmers then?
Well, I want to go back to your point of, because you said, was your point to say give up some of the marijuana crops to plant our other crops? Is that what you were getting at with that point?
Yeah.
I'd rather have tomatoes than pot.
No. Okay, good. So can I ask a question of, it seems that when I drive from here to Sauble, when I drive from here down into the Haldeman, Norfolk country, there is a ton of corn. Do we need all that corn? All of it.
Wouldn't.
Honey,
corn is almost everything.
Corn is so essential.
Okay.
It does.
All right.
It's not just feeds us. It feeds livestock. So if you want chicken and you want eggs, you got to feed them something.
The one fields that
cows.
I notice, and I've never ever seen this in my life. Coming back down from Sauble Beach, in May, was these fields that were absolutely yellow. And someone posted a picture last week, and it finally clicked in. They were canola crop.
Yeah, canola oil.
And it was like, that is a ton of canola. And it seems that, and I don't travel a lot, and I'm sure down in Haldeman, Norfolk, and up in the Holland Landing, up between Newmarket and Barrie, you get more fields with different crops. But it just seems that there is like a variety of 3 types of crops wherever I drive, and it just seems like we're limiting ourselves. But I know that's not true.
Well, and because in Canada, there's certain growing regions, and you need certain soils, certain climate conditions. That's why you'll see things more in certain regions. Like you go south towards Leamington and Windsor, they've got a better climate there and better soil for producing things like
Tomatoes.
onions and peppers and tomatoes. It has everything to do with soil conditions and climate. But sign up pay has a good point here. And maybe you're going to address this, Ken. What do you think of this?
Oh, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say it all depends on the price per bushel that a farmer will get for whatever produce they're growing.
There are people, because of this is all commodities. Is the industry or the world of commodity buying and purchasing already negotiating next year's crop?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It would be really interesting to see what the variance is on that and what the temperature is there. You know what I mean? It'd be really interesting to see how now what they know what next year is potentially holding for us and what they're doing about it or doing different this year for next year, if you know what I mean.
Well, I don't know.
Right, because farmers have to make money, right? So they're going to try and they've got a short growing season, right? So they got to make the biggest bang for the buck. So if we're going to be in a wheat shortage, that's going to drive the price up. So all these farmers are going to replant with wheat.
Yep.
If it's beans, they'll replant with beans, right? Usually a farmer will get 3 crops out of their field a year. And it's usually soybean, wheat, and corn, you know?
Yeah. Well,
so they got to make money too, right? So it all depends on what they'll get per bushel for what they're going to actually grow. And then they predict next year, which makes it even, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff.
You're on mute, Ryan.
Sorry, guys. The one thing and I hate to bring up like weed again because it's been a sticking point for me. Like, I feel I consume sometimes marijuana, in case anyone's wondering, just so you guys know, I don't hate it or whatever. But when we're talking about commodities right now, this is perfect time to bring it up, the commodity issue, right? Because of the, like, for instance, localized laws in Canada, United States, or even Europe, what we're allocating to marijuana has a secondary cost that's not associated with what we see on the direct paper, in that it's not something we can export, right? So it's purely for internal consumption whatsoever. So when you're seeing the wheat prices go up, that's not really going to happen with pot. So it's just a constantly dead flat cycle, right? Where we're taking now land that could be used to capture the wheat cycle or whatever cycle that you're saying, right? Because again, we don't have the ability to export marijuana, so therefore there's no serious price swings on it. And
right, but we could grow hemp.
Yep.
Manufacture hemp into paper and whatnot. There's our exporting there. Take hemp, turn it into rope.
But realistically, how many people are growing hemp for paper instead of manufacturing it for THC at $12 a gram? That's my only thing. Is
that's true, but the whole cannabis thing is only just started, right?
No, I know, but if you're going to grow cannabis, 4 years, you would never grow hemp because it pays more to grow the other stuff. So, like, why would you ever grow hemp? Just like, for instance, why grow beans if wheat is paying a lot more? It's like our incentivized structure for marijuana is it's almost killing us, because they're incentivizing them to produce the marijuana, but they can't really get rid of it anywhere.
Hey, Ryan, because I don't know enough about how you grow marijuana. Is it possible?
That's this guy. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't be correcting that. You're going to make me lose my train of thought. So, Ken, is it one of those ones that we could convert to a vertical farming situation? Like, do we
need...
Or
you mean grow it high?
Oh!
Is it possible? Because maybe Ken, you might know this. Would it be one of those ones we could put into some kind of a shipping container growing situation and not have to take, because one of those shipping containers typically can grow about 4 acres worth of stuff.
Really?
So that's why I'm saying this vertical farming, it will push us in that direction if we need to produce, because they can artificially create any condition, any optimal condition within that shipping container. So is it possible that we should be looking, and then you can stack the shipping containers one on top of the other and make it really like a big tall tower. as opposed to taking up land space?
Not really, because for one plant you need a good 5x5.
5x5 space.
Yeah, for one
Like
plant.
a good, like a really mature plant can grow anywhere
Mine
from
was-
6 to 10 feet.
Yeah, mine was
Why?
7. Mine was 7 foot last year.
Wide.
It's
Like,
a healthy
No,
plant.
tall,
Oh,
Yeah.
tall,
Okay.
and mine was about 4x4. The only thing that was stopping it was the fence. I had it planted too close to the fence.
The only thing I could imagine with marijuana, because the reason, like, marijuana is so inefficient, just because it's bothering me a lot lately. But the only reason I could see growing potentially marijuana cheaper would be in a warehouse where, you know, those tomato planters where the tomatoes, they vine out from the side or whatever. That would be the only way I could actually imagine growing marijuana in a lighted warehouse, is just to have drop towers of pot that went up 90 feet. But like, they need so much water, so much. Marijuana is just, it costs a lot for a reason. Let's put it that way. It costs a lot for a reason.
How much of what is produced agriculturally is exported?
Oh my God.
No, I don't know. It's an honest question. Is it like
The vast
50%,
majority.
70%?
No, I would say a lot more.
Of what? Just everything is what you're talking about?
Yeah, we export. We don't manufacture much in this country. We did not make it advantageous
What would
for
happen?
manufacturers to be in
What
this
would
country.
happen if we started to keep more of that for ourselves?
Well, that's why I'm talking about hemp, right? Make our own paper.
Yeah.
It's less pollution for the paper pulp industry, right?
I mean,
Then we're
that's
talking about
pulp
that.
and paper.
Now we're in like a political realm when you talk about like the nationalization of industry, and that's the stuff that Venezuelan leaders do. You know what I mean? So
I don't think he's saying. I'm not sure you're saying that. I think he's saying hemp as an industry would, you know,
We used to use it all the time in the 1800s. All those like the schooner ships and shit like that. All that rope was made out of hemp.
Well, there's hemp for medicinal purposes as well.
Yeah, clothing, cloth. It might be a way that we need to swing in the next 10 years as a country.
Well, is the reason we're not big on hemp simply because it's too expensive to manufacture as compared to alternatives? Because it seems like hemp was widely used and abused when slaves were an option. And that's a fact too, because hemp was widely, I mean, that was massive. Like, is hemp just too expensive to do now?
It was killing the paper industry. That's why they outlawed it in the United States.
But why wouldn't the paper industry just switch to hemp if it was cheaper, is what I'm saying?
Because their bottom line would be not as high.
That doesn't
Look
make
it up,
sense.
man.
Otherwise, we'd be using hemp.
No,
This is capitalist.
it's because it was outlawed.
Hemp?
Right? Yeah, it was considered part of cannabis, so it was outlawed as well. You couldn't just grow
you're
hemp
right.
in your
I don't know.
backyard.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Do you know what would be interesting for next week? We should just take this and kind of do a little bit. Everybody kind of look into it a little bit, because I've heard for years about the hemp too, and maybe that is the thing that is the next up and coming thing we should be focusing on and growing, and not mandated by the government, but because it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Jill's saying they grow a lot of hemp in Manitoba. I don't know a heck of a lot about hemp. Just curious, like, because if it was like the costs associated, obviously it's not efficient to use hemp unless it's for some sort of hemp-based rope or hemp soap, or I don't even know. But I don't understand. Everything that is associated with marijuana has cost the country a lot of money in the last few years. That's basically the whole kit and caboodle I was trying to say.
The only good thing about the fact that marijuana is legalized as we go through the next crazy year, because I think it's going to be the worst of all of the years. That's my personal belief. I think we've had the worst, but I think the worst is coming. And so at least if we've got marijuana, everybody can go through it in a nice, you know.
Yeah, but see, if the government didn't decide to try and capitalize it, right? If they would have just came out and said, all right, everybody's allowed to grow their own plants, all those greenhouses would still have peppers and tomatoes and everything in it, instead of them turning around and getting rid of it. And, you know, like we have a greenhouse here
5
in
to 10%
Petrolia.
of people who actually grows their own plants.
A lot of people. You would
as a
not
percentage.
believe it.
As a percentage, I'm genuinely curious on a guess. I'm going to guess and say 15 to 20% might. Actually, I'd say 10 to 15 grow their own plants. That's my guess.
No, it's more like 80 to 85%.
I don't know a single person who grows their own plants in
No,
Calgary.
I
I've
know
never met one.
tons of people. I know tons of people.
Who grows their own plants?
Yeah, we do. You guys.
I know Ken.
Ken.
He grows his own plants. I know somebody. Ken grows his own
other
plants.
than out of this community, nope.
Yeah, somebody on our property, what we used to live on, they had some.
You believe that? Did you ever see them?
Yes, your son brought them to him.
Oh, good. Here comes the next boss.
Papa's proud.
Okay, so switching gears slightly, this is sort of a Candace topic. So Candace, are you on tap for this? Candace doesn't know about this question. Okay, ready? So I was watching, I read The Morning Brew this morning, and I'm fascinated, absolutely fascinated by that new James Webb Space Telescope, okay? And how amazingly cool it is.
It is very cool.
What my question is I don't understand. I can't conceptualize that when they're taking the pictures of this, that it's going back in time, and that their goal is to try to go all the way back to the Big Bang Theory, like to where the Big Bang happened. I can't get my head wrapped around why the images are from the past.
Sure. Let's when you look at the sun up in the sky, you're seeing the sun as it was 8 minutes ago in the past. The reason for that is the speed of light is a limit on the speed that light can travel in the universe. So it takes the light leaving the sun 8 minutes to get to the earth. So what we see from the earth is 8 minutes in the past. So let's say the sun exploded right now. We would have no clue for, guess what, 8 minutes. So the further out in space, the longer it takes that light to reach us, which means it's that much further back in time. So when you look at something that's, let's say, 3 billion light years away, you're looking 3 billion years in the past. That light left that spot 3 billion years ago to come to you, to come to our eyes.
It's all of it is almost like a still image if you kind of think about it like that. Like there's that theory of not going forward in time, but seeing backward in time. Whereas if you were to say beat the speed of light and loop back, you could see into the past kind of stuff, right? Like that speed of light thing is really interesting because that telescope is going to get better. Our images are going to get better and better and better. Every single year, there is something new that we get to see. The light isn't quite there yet. Candace nailed it.
The thing about the James Webb is it's viewing in infrared, so it can see the dust, whereas the Hubble cannot. And just one more little point to drive this home. If you were on Alpha Centauri, which is one of the closest stars to us, and we're looking at the Earth, then you would be seeing stuff like I Love Lucy as it's airing. You'd be seeing stuff from the 40s and 50s.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Tim's got the image of what I was looking at this morning in case anybody hasn't seen it. So we're just gonna share our screen because I know it's sometimes images are easier. I think it's just share screen.
Oh, no.
There you go. Sorry, I just thought it was so fascinating. And so the whole thought that they could go back and eventually look all the way back to the Big Bang, I still can't get my head wrapped around that. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Everyone can see it.
Yeah, and what you're looking at here is each one of these clusters is a galaxy.
No way.
Yeah, those are all galaxies. So you've got 5 of them there. Now they're
Even
not
the little
all
dots.
together.
Even
Like,
those little dots, Candace, are galaxy. Like,
well, some
depending
of
on
them,
how.
some of the little ones in the back, but I'm just talking with the big ones in the picture.
Yeah.
So if you notice the one towards the bottom, I guess I was about to point, but it's not like you'd be able to see what I'm pointing at. That one at the very bottom, that's going to be further away than most of these other ones. So they're not like all like right together. There's a little bit of perspective going on here as well.
That's
So
crazy.
is the goal, Candace, that they hope to get that telescope to go further and see what's going on right in those galaxies?
Well, there's all kinds of different goals with it. There's one of the goals of it is life, for example. So it can take spectrum of alien worlds, so extra exoplanets, which are planets outside of our solar system. So we'll be able to look. One of the things they'll be looking for is a chemical called phosphine. Phosphine is normally a chemical that is a result of organic life. So that's one of the things that they're going to be looking at. They're going to be doing all kinds of different things with exoplanets. They're going to be able to look closer at the stuff around black holes, for example. And the best thing about this is because it views infrared, it can see through a lot of the dust that we haven't been able to see through before. So a lot of times we couldn't see some stuff happening inside of nebulas, and now we'll be able to see that. Plus, the distance that we'll be able to see is we're going to be able to go further back in time than we've ever gone before.
I think people should keep this in mind when it's like, in case, because Nancy's question was perfect, but for the whole go back in time, we're literally just capturing an image that only got to us now, but happened obviously back in time. I think that's what Candace means, but just in case anyone's confused. Like if that, for instance, what we're looking at right there was taken, let's say this morning, and it's 1 billion light years away. Okay. Well, that doesn't look like that now because that's an image from 1 billion years ago. Jeez. So that's kind of what it means when she's saying that.
Yeah. Like right now, for example, there is a star called Betelgeuse, and it is one of the stars that a lot of astrophysicists believe is going to go into a supernova. Maybe within our lifetimes, maybe not, but it's due to go into a supernova. The reality is, once it goes into a supernova, because it takes about 70 years or so to get to us, it may already have gone into a supernova, but we won't see it for another 70 years if that is the case. Or if it went into a supernova 70 years ago, we will see it. Now, when this happens on Earth, and this is just going to be really cool, this thing will be visible in the day and in the night, and it'll be bright like the full moon. That's how big this star will be for about a month.
Wow. And when do they think that's going to happen?
It could have already happened.
That's the thing, is the image won't get to us, right? Because of its speeding. Like if you consider the speed of light and whatever light projects as a still image, and there's billions every second, that particular still image has yet to get to us, but it could have happened 56 years ago, and we still have another 14 years or whatever to go. But that's what she means.
My goodness, you've explained it beautifully, but I'm still it's mind-boggling. If there's certain things I can get my head wrapped around, this is one that I'm going to have to think about for quite some time, because I was so fascinated when I saw it, and I thought this is right up Candace and Ryan's alley. I wanted to talk about it tonight. I'm so grateful we did, because it goes along with, I think we've talked about this before on this channel, is I just personally don't think we're the only, I don't think we're the only ones in the universe. There's no possible way that is true. We would be very narcissistic as human beings to think that we're the only beings that exist. So what gets exciting is to think that if they can get this telescope to go further and further, what are we actually going to see?
Well, Candace, correct me if I'm wrong. The telescope itself, I don't think has changed. I think what's changed is the infrared, right? So I think, now she might know this more than me, but I think based on what the image they used to have of the exact same starscape versus what we have now, it's probably just more comparable with going from VCR to HD DVD now that we're using infrared. I don't know, but
yes and no.
Okay, fill me in.
One of the reasons that James Webb is really, really good, for one, it's quite a distance away from Earth. It's called the Lagrange point, which is quite a ways out. So it's much further than any of our other satellites. That means that we get no interference from the Earth. So we've eliminated all of that interference, like light and things that come off of the Earth. And it also has a lot bigger mirrors, because if you ever see the picture, you'll see all of the gold mirrors as they all sort of come out. So it's got a lot more mirrors. It can collect infrared a lot better than any other satellite that we've had yet. And we do have another satellite going up called LISA in about a year. and it's going to complement this one so that between the two of them, they'll be able to provide information that is going to be absolutely mind-boggling, especially when it comes to black holes and just some of the more quirky phenomena out there in space.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But think of it this way. The James Webb, it's like Superman. It has X-ray vision in a way, although it's infrared, but it can just see through stuff that all of our satellites before, all of our telescopes before have not been able to see through.
It's actually pretty interesting if you compare the infrared image versus the prior image of the same visual. It's pretty amazing. You can see significantly more. Sorry, Candace?
I said, yeah, you can see absolutely so much more.
Yeah, like when and again, I know I talk kind of basic sometimes in the way I describe things, but truly going from VHS to HD DVD almost, it was pretty amazing. I'm all about that stuff. I love that stuff.
And if you want to see something really cool, do you still have those photographs there from the show?
Yeah.
Bring up the first one, not the one that Bryden showed, but the first one they showed yesterday.
The one with the galaxies?
No, the one before that. There was one just before that.
From the Morning Brew?
It sort of almost looks like an eye.
I don't have that one.
Oh, really? Sort of a little.
Where was it?
It was one of the ones from yesterday that was released. It wasn't that eye.
Well,
Just trying to help. Just trying to help.
that was very good, Ken. And Panda
Guys,
said the
breaking news.
telescope
Hold on.
turns out to be a fortune teller. Only we're billions of years different.
Okay, I just got this email, so breaking news. So Celsius just filed for Chapter 11. Their official announcement is out, so I guess it's official. If you had your stuff in Celsius, you're toast. And these Chapter 11 cases provide the company with the best opportunity to stabilize the business, consummate a comprehensive restructuring, bullshit, maximizes value for stakeholders. I bet Chapter 11, nothing about Chapter 11 says value to me, but okay. And emerge from Chapter 11 positioned for success in the crypto industry. So your money's gone. Everyone who has a Celsius account, that email came out 2 minutes ago. That's so Voyager now and Celsius, 2 bankruptcies.
Wow.
Did you guys also see that BlockFi raised their rates?
No, what did they raise them to?
8.5% again.
So we can,
No,
if we have our what?
Their tainment, their
Sorry.
I don't believe it for a minute. I mean, I believe it, but I don't. It's I'm not like.
Yeah, I'm not biting either. I'm just saying that I think to get people back. Actually, I'm reading the email right now. They got 9 new cryptos available. Bitcoin's back at 8.5 points, and their highest return for one of the altcoins up to 15% APY. Do me a solid and try that on someone else. I already been around this block.
And Panda's saying it all when he's saying rug pull us, BlockFi.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, they're
Well,
just trying to. They're
we
trying
were-
to pull in liquidity now. That's all. They're just trying to get more liquidity now.
Yeah, no, you know what? I know that we were talking about Celsius a year ago, but leading into this downturn, I think we were all talking how many weeks ago, if you've been coming regularly, you knew we were saying, get yourself off of those and get your coins and stuff into your own cold storage. Like Tim and I are completely off of everything. We're in storage now.
Oh, did you guys finally move to your ledger?
Tim said to stop that. He's in Atomic Wallet.
Oh, okay.
We have everything in an Atomic Wallet.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's what's beautiful with this community. I mean, we've been warning people now for 3 weeks, get out before it's too late. And, at least people are listening and people are protecting their crypto.
Yeah. So, Panda says he still has his ledger in a box. Oh boy, we are living in weird times. You still have yours in a box, Ken?
Yeah, I don't need it.
Where's your stuff?
It's in my MetaMask wallet.
That's about as risky as you could get.
Not really, because
Isn't-
a ledger doesn't protect you if somebody guesses your seed phrase, dude.
How would someone on Earth ever guess a seed phrase? I mean that honestly.
Well, exactly. So then what's the difference between having a ledger and having MetaMask?
Well, wouldn't you then be vulnerable to like their mainnet collapsing or something like that?
No, because everything's stored on the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay. All right. You know more than me, man. I'm throwing spitballs out
It's
there.
just all your ledger is just an access point.
Listen, Panda's asking for someone to post a video on how to use his ledger that's in a box. I think that's got Candace.
Candace, didn't you do one?
I've already got a walkthrough on my
Yeah,
on my
you
site.
did one. Yeah.
Do you, Candace, if you put your link to that video in the private chat, I'll post the link on here so Panda doesn't have to go looking for it.
Okay, I can do that. Just give me a
So if
second.
anybody on the community has any crypto sitting anywhere outside of, according to Ken MetaMask, Atomic Wallet, or in your ledger, we need to implore everybody, and again, not financial advice. We've never been financial advice. All of us have for a while ago moved off exchanges. We've been in cold storage of some sort.
And you can also import your existing wallet address into a ledger as well.
What does that mean, Ken?
Oh, that's cool. You could
Well,
put your Atomic Wallet into Ledger potentially.
Yeah, so instead of, because it's just your address, right? That's what I mean. Like a ledger is just an access point. MetaMask is just an access point. They're access points to the blockchain. So you can actually program, instead of hooking up a ledger and it giving you a new address and then transferring all your coins into that new one, you can just take your existing one and you can import it into the ledger. I've seen a video.
Cool. Well, that would mean that Tim and Nancy can combine Atomic Wallet and their ledger.
Yeah, you can have two different accesses.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know what the point would be though. So what would be the point of having two access?
Well, see, that's like when I had SataMask on my phone, I could access my wallet through it or through MetaMask at the same time. It didn't matter.
The link's there, by the way.
okay. I will grab it and put it in the chat for anybody that wants it.
Yeah.
Can we put this link in the? Whoops! Darn it! Tim's got to do it. Just hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah. No, I mean, the reality is, I think Shakepay, Wealthsimple are probably safe. Just they're not 100%. That's the whole thing. And, you know, something like Atomic, it's the ones that you really have to be worried about are the exchanges more than anything else. Especially if they're an exchange that offers interest, especially unreasonably high interest. Those are the ones that are crumpling like a jet landing that's been made out of tinfoil.
I think Redbeard's the longest I've ever heard. 466 days of shaking.
That's amazing.
Good for you, man.
Amazing.
So, okay, so let's go back to some of the other crazy things that are happening in the world. We heard about, did you guys hear about the run on the Chinese banks?
Yes.
No.
And I've heard that the Chinese banks, they basically paused withdrawals and transfers and all of that as well, just because everybody was running because they wanted to get their yuan out of the bank.
Can you imagine? And then Sri Lanka's economy.
President's left the country.
The president of Sri Lanka
He's
left.
gone. He's out of the country.
Oh, well, they invaded. There was images of the citizens there invading his home and swimming in his pool, and just because they're in huge trouble there. And they were an emerging economy. They were sort of a tropical island off of India. And so it is just crazy stuff going on.
I saw something crazy yesterday. So this group in the US have put out in New York City a PSA for what to do if a nuke attack hits. And I was like, oh, I have not seen one of these since like, well, forever, because that was stuff like, I think they did back in the 50s, 60s. And
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a PSA commercial for nuclear attack. I was just
Okay,
like,
so speaking of that, Candace,
Leg cramp.
Tim,
Move your foot,
what
my
the
leg-
heck?
Leg cramp.
We
Go
have
away.
issues. Tim's got a leg cramp. He's got to stand up.
Old
Sorry.
age, old age, old age.
Exactly. Not even funny.
there's a secret to avoiding those, Tim.
Bananas.
I'll actually, if you get a magnesium, calcium with zinc daily, those, if you're taking those,
Take all that, Candace. It still
Really?
doesn't help.
oh,
I
then
have
you
been,
must
I have
just be
been
really
religious on
old.
calcium and magnesium a year before the pandemic.
Yeah, you could
And
also try
water.
the magnesium oil. You can get like a spray oil, put that on your legs where you normally get the cramps, and rub that in. They'll absorb it. Or
I
if
know
you're
it
more of a
sounds-
bath guy, you could do like Epsom salts in the bathtub and just soak.
I know this sounds ghetto, but I get Charlie horses 24/7 in my feet, my
Yeah.
calves, and my upper thighs. And I can promise you that the only way to guarantee shutting it down immediately, because the pain is excruciating, right? The only way to guarantee shutting it down would be to cut off the blood flow. Swear to God, dude, I know it's no. Yeah, I know. Nancy, if you okay. Anyway, what
How
you
are
do?
you cutting off the blood flow? I'm picturing
Have
you
you-
with the machete.
Lying there with a tourniquet.
No, you like
Yeah.
for a guy. Every time it happens to me, like if it happens on my foot, I'll do it on my calf. If it happens on my calf, I'll do it on upper leg. I take a belt. I'll take my belt right off. I'll put it on my leg and I'll squeeze until the cramp goes, and it'll go
Okay.
immediately, dude. Like if you almost apply a ghetto tourniquet, but like if you just tight your belt on your leg, that cramp is gone in no time, man.
I usually will just get up and walk it off, because it comes, if I put pressure on that foot and start walking, it goes away right
Oh,
away.
see, for me, like I can't even walk. It's debilitating. Like the ones on the feet are so excruciating. Like again, dude, when they happen, I'm almost straight. I can't move. First thing, bro, I'll unbuckle my pants. I will wrap a belt around my leg and squeeze it. And I'd say within 15 to 30 seconds, the cramp is entirely gone.
So what happens?
The night?
No. Oh, well, let me tell you what happens in the middle of the night. It happens in my right leg. My big toe goes boing, gets caught on the freaking sheet, and now I can't get out. I'm trapped. I'm trapped. I end up. You usually know that I'm halfway there because you hear flop on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, every time.
Yeah, the more-
And
Yeah.
then it's stuck on the sheet. I can't kick it off because then I get
That-
it.
That doesn't look like a toe. Just saying.
Yikes. I think the more important question I have about Ryan's cure is, why do you have your belt and pants on when you're sleeping?
That's what I want.
I don't get this when I'm sleeping. Like,
oh, okay.
no,
I
like-
always, anytime I get it, it's when I'm asleep. It wakes me up.
That's what
oh, okay,
happens.
that's never happened to me. Like I'll be sitting there on the couch, move my toe in a random weird way, and out of nowhere, my whole body shuts down, and I'm like, oh my God, belt mode. I rip the belt off and I wrap my legs up.
Oh, it's like by being in the SS back in the 40s. Height.
Straight up. No, there's time I'm like, oh, I can't move. What the fuck? And I
No,
will
there's
literally
times
wrap
that all I
belts
can
around my
do
legs.
is I can spin on my back and get my leg up against the wall so I can start pushing on it to try to
I
work
wish
it
I
out.
had a video camera for the people looking. What's the matter with you? It's like, get the fuck out of my way. This is
Family show.
it's not a family show when you talk about cramps.
No, really. If anyone's ever had those types of cramps and they're in water, for instance, you're done. You are done. Yeah. Have you ever got a cramp and tried swimming back to the shore? It is like fighting in battle. Okay. It's a war.
Right, I'm still back at you being in a restaurant and whipping your belt
Where
off.
are you guys talking restaurants? I'm saying when I'm like I'm not going to whip my belt off at I don't know. One, I didn't say restaurant. Two, I didn't say asleep.
I know, but
But-
I was picturing a restaurant when he was saying it.
Hmm.
Well,
Does it only happen to you when you're in your house?
I'm not even worried about the water because I have really big boobs. I just float.
Oh, geez.
I can float the cramp out.
There we go. Family show.
Leg cramps are interesting when you're trying to be intimate too.
Oh man, that's a buzz.
It's happened.
That's a buzzkill.
The ultimate stiffy.
You know what's crazy though is the girl is always really confused until you tell them it's a leg cramp. They're like, "What the hell reaction is that?" You're like, "It's not you, it's the leg." They're like, "Okay, the fuck." It's like, "Can you get me a belt?"
Is that you? Oh, it's my cramp.
Is it your first time? You're doing a lot of vibrating. I don't understand.
Do you see my big toe, honey? Do you see my big toe?
I suppose if you can't reach the cramp, you can always just put the belt around your neck, and that'll stop the oxygen too.
Something's got to do. But I've never thought about that, Ryan. That's
I promise you, dude. I don't even know the science behind it, but I'm just saying, if you're at your house and your leg goes whack, I saw my dad do it when I was a young guy, and I mean, within seconds he was covered. His feet would be like one normal foot, spider webbed, and you're like, "What the?" And he'd belt himself up, and it was gone. I don't know. It's a bad thing when it
I'm
happens.
getting them in my hands now, and it's like I've got arthritis. It's like my whole hand goes like this, and it's like for just no. It's like my hand does
The
that.
hand might be vitamin D, actually.
Okay, really?
So if you take a vitamin D supplement, that might help with your
Taking
hand
the
issue.
whole alphabet of vitamins.
I'm telling you right now, this show, you just never know what's going to happen. We've talked about all kinds of things: inflation, interest rates.
Natural inflation.
We've talked about the nebula, and then
We're just waiting for Ken to get abducted by aliens, and then we've got the show.
Yeah, we haven't talked about alien abductions, but make sure, Ryan, if you get abducted, make sure you're wearing pants with a belt. So if you
I'm not even coming back. If I get abducted, I'm all on board for this. It's like, well, you guys want to do whatever? Take me to your planet, dude.
There's only one reason.
That'd be cool.
There's only one reason they would never abduct Ken, because they'd probably end up on a live stream, and they don't want us to know about them.
They couldn't last 6.5 hours.
I couldn't on the Saturday. I tell you that much. I was really tired.
I know. What was it? What was it? You were on, and I went back on. It was like he was on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. What the hell?
Were you just?
Yeah, Jason and I were going to come back on. We called you weak, bud. That was weird. Out skiing 2 hours.
Just worn, man. Worn.
Yeah.
Working too much.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it after all the stuff you work. It's like I say to Nance, I don't know how he does it.
Well, when he gets home, he's quite pooped.
By the way, hanging with Jason in Calgary was awesome. Really, really good guy.
Did you two get up to no good?
No, I mean, I got up to more no good with you and your friend than my mom than I did with Jason. But like, I mean, as in me and Jason just stayed in. We're like, want to go to the Stampede or just order food and shoot the shit? And he was like, let's order food, or whatever. We somehow agreed. I don't know if he was the one who said it. And we just went over everything. I don't know. Just really good guy, though. Really good guy.
Jason, did you go out there just for the Stampede?
We went out there for Ryan.
No, he was on a trip with his father. No, he went on a trip with his father. Okay. And his father just happened to be going past Calgary. So he got off the trip in Calgary and then spent the day with me and then went home flew home from there.
Oh, okay.
Very nice. Very nice. See, look at the people are coming out of the box here.
I got to go to Ontario now to make it even for you guys.
Yeah, you got a lot of stops to do here, and you got a lot. You got a big geographical area to fill if you're going to see Nate and Ken. And
I think you could all do it at Ken's place. He looks like he's got a big enough place to have a farm now.
No
way, man. You guys would steal my cherry tomatoes, so it ain't.
I would. I can guarantee you, I would. I love tomatoes.
I'll eat your cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We'll all come to eat your tomatoes.
You know what a really good trick is? I swear to gosh, for really interesting tomatoes, like cherry tomatoes, get a bowl of water. This is just something I do. I've never seen a restaurant do this. I just like doing this. Get a bowl of water. Make sure it's pretty heavily salted. So and taste it like a good bowl of salt water, okay? Put your cherry tomatoes in there you don't want it to get mushy, obviously. So I'd say anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 minutes tops. Drain it, take it out, whatever. They just naturally have the salted taste on the tomato. And one of my favorite things is a sliced in half tomato with salt and pepper on top. I don't know. I love it. But if you put cherry tomatoes in a bowl of salt water, the skin takes on the salt. And it's if you like popping those almost nuts, that's a cool little snack if anyone wants to try it.
It's like you've marinated them.
Kind of, yeah. Because it just goes right in the skin.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Hey, listen, Spooner's got the whole weekend planned for us. After we go to Ken's house to do his live stream live around his fire pit and eat his cherry tomatoes with salt, Then we can all go to Andrew's house and watch a movie.
It's an option.
Oh man. And if for those of you that are watching live and you don't know who Andrew is a regular guest on Ken's the Freaking Oracle show on Friday and Saturday nights, and he is hysterical.
Did you guys happen to catch the show where we met a very respectful flat earther
What?
on
No.
Ken's show?
That was cool. That was
So,
actually pretty cool.
he
You
ended up-
text them or something.
No, he texted me, and now I have a friendship with a guy who believes that we're in a dome on the flat earth. I don't know how I met this guy. He's still trying to convince me. It was one of the craziest live streams because you know me, when I meet a troll on Ken's live stream, I start losing it. It's Friday night, whatever, right? So I thought this guy's a troll. He's telling me, like, seriously, like, bro, Jesus, we're in a snow globe. Like, and I'm like, you're a troll. I don't know what to make of this. And then we realized, no, this guy is dead serious. And he was even like, sorry, guys, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just, Jesus did create this in a glass bowl. And I'm like, the whole convo, if you guys want to have the craziest viewing experience, it was 2 live streams ago for Ken. It was pretty nutbag.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty good. And now he's my friend. And he's trying to convince me that I live in a snow globe. But that's cool. He seems like a nice guy. Very religious.
You know what's interesting is give it a little bit of time, and that
And he'll be in Calgary.
James Webb telescope is going to prove something completely different.
Oh my
fact
God.
that
No,
James
no,
Webb
Nancy.
telescope is where it's at proves that the Earth is round.
No, because if you just listen to this guy, there was no convincing it. Okay. It's like whether it be your eyeballs are all whacked out and we can't see it. And he didn't understand what the word mass meant. I don't know. The whole thing was a convo that was absolutely amazing to be a part of, but it was just crazy. It was the one troll I didn't swear at.
I can absolutely prove that we are not in a snow globe because when there's an earthquake, there's no snow coming up.
Dude, you don't need to prove it. This guy was insane, but it's worth the watch. It was worth the watch.
Well, and Panda wants to know, why doesn't Jesus shake the glass bowl on Christmas? He swears it never snows on Christmas
No,
morning.
I swear to God, though, this guy was quoting Ken knows this. This guy was quoting passages from the Bible, genuinely trying to convince us that the Bible says that the earth is flat. And once I realized that he wasn't actually trying to be a troll, I was not rude to him or whatever. But, you know, at the beginning, you might be like, oh, Ryan, calm down now that you know the story. I didn't know the story. I thought he was just an idiot. So you'll notice, though, it gets into a place where, like, we kind of pick up that this guy's like, believes this.
Believer,
Yeah, he believes it. And then the convo got really crazy.
And in that his defense, the people who wrote the Bible that time in human history, people did believe the world was flat.
True.
So it was probably written from a flat perspective at that point in time.
That's very true, Candace.
Very true.
They didn't. How would? That's why
No.
some of those old documents have some. We're trying to place future
told
thoughts
us.
on old documents.
He was telling us, now if he's listening, I doubt he is, he's a good guy, but he was telling us that the earth is surrounded by an ice wall, like in Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones style.
And I'm like, are you telling me that the earth is, we're living with dragons in Game of Thrones here? The fuck? And this guy's like, no, it says it in the Bible. There's an ice wall. And I'm like, that's why this convo was something that everyone has to see. It was just to hear someone believe what they're saying. It was
Trust
crazy.
me, if there was an ice wall, I'd probably be on the other side.
If there was an ice wall, we wouldn't be talking to each other right now.
If you'd only read the New Testament, right? It's updated.
Dude, there's an ice wall. Who's guarding it, bro? Where is it? I need one picture of the
It's
ice
the
wall.
gnome. The gnomes are guarding it.
No, I think he was saying that
Candace says
Antarctica
there is an ice wall. It's in Antarctica.
No, but his argument was that Antarctica was actually a ring that surrounded the Earth. And we were flat. So it was listen, if you guys want some dragons and some Game of Thrones and some Jesus all in one conversation, that was the stream.
Wow. How did we miss that one? I don't even know, because we tend to watch it on Sunday mornings. We get a hoot out of it while we're having our coffee, and we just shake our heads, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We always wait to see if Ryan falls asleep at the end of the show, because that was always an epic thing.
It was Ken last time almost nodding off.
Yeah.
Like, this is what this guy texted me just the other day. I actually just messaged him right now. That's what he says. He's like, Shabbat Shalom from the flat earth under the dome. Like, that's his introduction. I'm like, all right,
That's
you're
Hebrew.
funny.
That's Hebrew.
Whatever hell he was
So
on,
maybe he's
dude.
Jewish.
He was no, he's not Jewish. This was a deep South, like Tennessee or whatever it was. He was like a deep South Bible Belt believer. This guy, and I have no clue because actually maybe he's Jewish because he sent me brown hands. I don't know. Usually white people don't do that, but he sent me the brown high five. I don't know. Maybe he is Jewish. If there's a Jewish person in here,
Hebrew.
where does it say that there's ice walls? But this guy was a funny guy.
Well, that's really interesting. Well, I don't know how we top that except for to say that you just never know what you're going to get on the Danter banter. So this was crazy. The
Red-
only go ahead.
Redbird's still on? No, it's not.
Well, on a really different note, has anybody ever heard of a laundry bag that dissolves in the laundry?
No.
No, but it's a good idea.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. I just didn't know if anybody had heard of it before.
No, I haven't.
I've never heard of it, but it's a good idea.
That just seems like when you have too much money and you're wondering how to spend it, you buy laundry bags that turn to dust.
Ooh. Imagine if you had a laundry bag that you could throw in the washer and the laundry bag turns into soap.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I actually think that's what it is, Candace, because I've had a company approach me because of infection control. Would I be interested in carrying something like this? And I'm just waiting to hear back on price point and availability and the whole 9 yards. So I've got my sourcing person working with them. But I thought that is talk about zero waste and total infection control. Crazy. All these innovations. See, we don't even know. This is the thing that I love about innovative thinking and our innovative conversation. The things that we're going to use on a daily basis right now, we don't even know if it's been invented yet, or things that we can't even possibly fathom that we're going to be using in our daily lives might not even be invented right at this moment, but in 2 years we can't live without it.
I wonder if that's more marketing than anything, though. Like, does anybody remember when baking soda did virtually nothing until they told you to buy it and pour it down your sink? All of a sudden,
Growing up, my parents always had baking soda, a box of it in the fridge.
Sure, for sure. It was just, but there was always a new use, and one of them, the peak of baking soda. The peak of baking soda, bro, was when they're like, buy a box of baking soda and empty it down your sink. That is just peak marketing right there. And I'm like,
baking soda. If you ever get heartburn, a teaspoon of baking soda in some water, and it's gone in less than a minute completely.
Or you put a belt around your neck. That joke was bad, actually. That alludes to things. I was going
around your forehead. A belt around your forehead.
Let's say forehead.
Yeah, forehead.
See, that didn't go.
And the reason for that is baking soda is a strong base, so it takes care of all of the acid that's causing the issues. Right away. It neutralizes it, turning it into salt and water.
Yeah, there you go, Jordan. Thanks for that. See, I knew they exist. He used them in the prison laundry for those inmates that bled or peed or pooped. So special plastic that dissolves in water. It would be even better if it was made of the plastic became part of the laundry soap, but that would be amazing.
Another thing left over in the washer machine then would be the shiv as it's clicking around.
I don't trust any clothes that have been soiled and actually washed. I don't believe that shit. Unless it was washed in 100% bleach, there's not a shot I'm putting that piece of clothing back on. Hell no. Can't do it. I don't trust washing machines with that.
Oh, wait till you have kids.
Yeah, true. Oh, I could never imagine that. Well, I guess I won't be wearing the clothes, but I'd feel bad.
I would tell a story right now, but Ryan wouldn't make it through it. So
no, I'm actually feeling okay if you want to go with that. My stomach's actually feeling pretty good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? With kids, you never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Really dear friend of ours picked up the kids from Wonderland, and he was driving home, and his daughter was sitting in the front seat, and her two girlfriends were sitting in the back seat driving home. And all of a sudden, halfway home, the little the girl in the back seat goes, "Mr. Clugston, I'm not feeling that good. I'm not feeling that good." And he's like, "Well, we're almost home. Can you just, are you everything okay?" Within seconds, she projectile vomited. It went over his head, down his back, into his shoes. His whole mat on the driver's side
disintegrated the
filled
headrest.
up. It was everywhere. It went everywhere, and it was so much. And she goes, "I guess I shouldn't have eaten that corn dog," and then got on the roller coaster.
I used to work in group homes, and I can actually honestly say more than once I have had to jump out of the way to avoid projectile vomit.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, you need something to wash your clothes. Otherwise, you'd be giving up your clothes all the time, Ryan.
I remember. I don't. Yeah. If I have kids, I remember this funny story. I was too young to remember. So my brother was just born. My dad's holding my brother up like this, and he's a coochie coo, whatever the hell, right? My brother right in his face, and I don't mean just like in his eyeballs and his mouth, okay? Because my dad was like, making faces. Brother, all over the place, pukes everywhere. He's like, "Christine," he starts screaming. He's crying. He's throwing up with the baby in his hands, hands the baby off. He's on the ground puking. He's crying in front of everyone. "I'm going to wash this off." That's where I get my weak stomach from. Flat out. Babies do it to you, though.
Okay, let me ask you, Ken. Did you ever, with any of your kids, were you ever lifting them up and they did something on you?
No, but they did. That happened to Natasha. With Joey.
What?
Took go to change the diaper, right? So you cross the legs to lift the legs up for the butt, and when she did that, she shat, and it went all the way up and up to her chin.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
To me, no.
I don't tell you about having kids. I had a few of those. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Anyway, so
Enough of that.
yeah, we can get off the barfing, puking story because yeah. Oh, Redbeard's back on. He says, "What's up, Tim?"
You ever seen Redbeard's? Like I do my dad jokes, right? And I'm gaining a little bit of traction on TikTok and stuff. He is a beast on TikTok. Like his following is just incredible.
What is he doing on TikTok?
You have to go see. I'm not
on TikTok. I cannot take one more thing on. I can't take one more thing on.
Well, I'll show you tomorrow. Everyone else has to go to Redbeard's TikTok because it's.
Is it Redbeard's World?
Yes.
On TikTok?
Redbeard, you can verify that because we're on his big TV right now.
Anyways.
I didn't know he was on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I swear to God, it's TikTok. It's TikTok, right? Yeah, because my goodness, what is his?
Oh,
what's your Red?
TikTok is tough, man. Because
Redbeard's
if you
World.
get on a rabbit hole,
No,
you're gonna waste time.
What's it called, Ken?
Redbeard's World.
Yeah, Redbeard's World. There you go. I wanted to bring up one more subject before we start to close it out, and this is really sort of a really important subject. So Redbeard said he's just hit 12K.
Yeah.
And
got feedback on someone.
He posted a video an hour ago, and it hit 21,000 views. Redbeard,
I'm looking here. He's got 88,000 views on one, 200,000 views on another. I messaged him, and what did they say to Redbeard?
Redbeard, you're like a celebrity.
What is your first name? I don't necessarily like referring to people that way.
Viking.
Viking is his first name?
No, it's
he looks like
Dan.
one.
Maybe his first name is Vi and his last name is King.
But
no, his name is Dan.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan.
Dan.
Okay, yeah. But Dan, what did he say to me? He says, what was it? I've insulted a lot of people to get there. And it's like, okay, so I got to get a little bit more risque in what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think on TikTok you almost need to.
Well, because
if you're too vanilla.
Man, I watch all of his stuff. It's like, how does he do that? Like, I literally need to talk to you, Dan, about it's just your editing part of it, of how you do it, because it's just, I could be so much more creative on what I do. I just sit here, do it, and one or two takes, it's done.
Well, Dan,
He's a beast, man.
congratulations.
He's
That's
wild,
amazing.
man.
Good
Is it-
job.
hey, Dan, is that when you get to 12K followers, are you monetized on TikTok?
Anyways, Dan and Tim are going to have a conversation offline, maybe.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay,
one point.
so this is the thing that I wanted to talk about, and it's really important. And one of the things that I've always said since day one about this community is that we are a community. And as we enter these crazy, crazy times ahead, you know, things are not going to be rosy, I do not think. I think they're going to get quite bumpy. And just stay plugged in to somebody's channel, whether it's Ryan's channel, Candace's channel. If you need a good giggle and a laugh, jump into Ken's channel because it's always good for a good laugh. But the thing is if you are feeling like this is the end of the world for you, you've got a community of people. You just jump in here, talk to us. We don't give financial advice, but we're here to listen, and we're here as a community. I all along, that's all that we've ever been. And if we need to get back to talking about how do we make extra spare cash, we'll get back to talking about how to do that. We're going to head down the road for some really bumpy times. And I want people to know that you've got a place here. You got people that you can speak to, and we'll try to coach you and guide you through it in a very public forum, but you're not alone is all I'm trying to say. It's and
it could be private too, private messaging.
Yeah, if you need any one of us to just talk with, life is hard. And Tim and I went through the Great Recession in 2008, and it sucked. It sucked big time. And but we didn't. I don't want to do that again. I do not want to do that again. It was not fun. But we somehow managed to do it, and we're on the other side of it. And anybody can get on the other side of any of their financial crisis. Don't make that be a deal breaker for you, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and with my channel, any questions you have, throw them up on the comments. I'll answer them. If it's something that you don't want to really talk about in public, hit me up on Twitter. I answer every single DM, unless it's from somebody who's trying to sell me something. But
everybody knows how to get a hold of me.
And we're all good for different things. Like as I said, sometimes the best medicine is laughter, and you can get that by jumping into Ken's channel. You just laugh your head off at what goes on over there. It's just stupid and funny and crazy all at the same time. So if you need a giggle, go over there and have a giggle.
Need it grown, check out Tim's YouTube shorts.
Yeah. Oh, and Tim's YouTube shorts. You got Redbeard, Dan's channel. You certainly got good information.
Nate's channel. Nate's pretty active with that on TikTok and stuff. So
we're a community of people, and I want you to know that there's a safe place to go. Like we're a safe community, and somebody has been there and done that. Is all I'm going to say.
Yep.
Yes, no, maybe so.
I thought that's all you were going to say.
Agreed.
Yeah, we all agree.
Okay. So let's do a little quick wrap up. Candace, what you got going on this week at Mountain Finance?
Yeah, tomorrow is a request video. Somebody asked me to do a video on the VIX because a lot of people don't understand what the VIX is. So tomorrow is a VIX video. And then the weekend we got the two this week. So we got the This Week video, and then we got the This Week live stream, and then we're back at it again next week. Do it all over again.
Awesome. Mr. Ryan, you said you got a video coming out about the diesel.
Yeah, there's 2 videos that are done. There's one that's not done. If you're wondering where I've been the last few days, 1 side hustle, 2 filming and making them good. I want to have the information on point. So the oil one, which I alluded to a little bit, there's some really good info. What's going to follow that information though, or the video though, is the resources that I'm going to give to you guys that you can put into your kind of bank. I mean, they're resources you should look at every single month. Next one's going to be kind of alluded to it again, but the only legal precedent in history ties to Twitter, Tyson Food, yada, yada, give people some insight on that. Rest of it, I keep to the mystery, guys. Keep coming to the channel. There is no Who knows when I'm gonna come on? When they come on, it could be 5 in a row, it could be 1 every 5 days. It doesn't know. I don't know. Also, I'm gonna mention this right now. Last night, or was it the night before, opened up my Facebook page to see if I could grow people again, because I had to close it off because there was bots, yada yada. So I opened it up. Let's see if we can grow. Within about 30 minutes, I had 75 to 80 bots join, and I mean like uncontrollable. Okay, so I froze the account immediately, deleted the entire account. Too many bots. Facebook page is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Hate to say it, but what I'm doing is going to take that opportunity to just reinforce channel memberships. But if anyone's wondering where it went, nobody was blocked. It just wasn't working and there were too many bots. So simple as that. It took basically 30 minutes for the entire page to be overrun when I opened it up. So when I was thinking about that, it's not even a platform I like. It's not even one I support. So it's pretty much just Twitter and YouTube for me going forward.
Excellent. Well, that's good. And Ken, what do you got going on? Because you're working like a crazy person right now.
Still doing the Friday night. I don't know about Saturday nights. I might cut Saturdays a little shorter because I got to get stuff done. I've been putting stuff off because I'm streaming so long that, I'm not getting out of bed till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, I'm also getting a lot more people popping on the show. So you may catch some inappropriate images. I'm trying to catch them as quick as they pop up. It's just a little disclaimer.
Yep.
Oh, geez. See?
It's
You're good for a good laugh.
I'm the channel's going the way I want it to go. It's just, yeah, you got to take the good with the bad, right?
Yeah. No, it's awesome. And so we'll see you whether it's Friday night. We usually catch you on the next morning when we're having coffee. So that's
we'll see you Saturday morning.
Now Spooner wants to know what he's going to do with his Saturday nights.
I'll still have one Saturday night. I just don't know if it'll go as long as 8 hours.
Oh,
we'll just say.
There you go.
Very good.
And I got the weekend off. I wasn't in the warehouse all weekend, which was a good thing for me. And we just look forward to having these kind of chats every Wednesday night. It keeps us in the game. And as I said, if nothing else, come Wednesday to Wednesday and just get your little bit of a fill. I know it's tougher during the summer. People go on holidays, and that's all okay because we're here having the fun banter whenever anybody can make it. And sometimes that's all you can do is go week to week and just know you got a crew of people out there that are willing to support you. So thank you guys so much. Stay strong, and we will see you next Wednesday, whether it's Crypto Night in Canada or Danter Banter. Just depends on the news. Have a